I fear not the man who practices 10,000 kicks. I fear the man who practices one kick 10,000 times. And I've always thought about that. And I was just like, I don't understand that. Well, I was a kid. And I just remember when I would go to my Taekwondo classes. And we would do everything by like tens. And then we'd probably do like 4 or 5 sets of whatever kick or punch. And I was just bored. I mean, I was a kid. I didn't understand. I was just going through the motions. And then I look at my dad and I'd be like, Dad, I'm bored. I don't want to do this anymore. And he'd be like, no, keep going. I remember at one point, it was time to go. My dad always drove me to my classes because it was like 15 minutes away from where we lived. And it was like we were about to leave, right? 15 minutes prior to leaving. And I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. He's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. It's boring and I'm not having fun and I want to be with my friends. He's like, nope, that's not an option. And obviously I was devastated because I didn't want to go. But I ended up going. I had actually a really good class. And ever since then, I never told him, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. I just kept doing it. And I think the other thing that kind of helped me too was he said, get your black belt. And then maybe you can play sports. Maybe. I ended up playing sports, but that was my goal, was to finish what I started, essentially, get my black belt, and do other sports. But let's go back to what I was talking about, practicing certain things hundreds, thousands, whatever of times, hours. A lot of people now are just wanting that, let's go fast, fast, fast. I want fast results. I want everything right now, which isn't reality. You look at these videos that they're posting about 6-minute abs, get your abs in 30 minutes, or get a chiseled abs, chiseled chest in 2 weeks. Like, that's not realistic. And if maybe you can, maybe their little program that they got going on does work, but you don't gain the correct muscle, and your muscles aren't practicing what they should be practicing, if that makes sense. You're not consistently doing the same exercises over and over and over and over. Like they said, 10,000 hours is what they're saying. They say 10,000 hours of practicing makes you successful in whatever you're doing, but why make it just 10,000 hours? You know, why don't you just keep doing it and doing it until you eventually just don't exist anymore? Why not be a master of it? I've thought of that. And as I get older, I think about these things, that whatever I've learned, like, I've learned it for a reason. I have these skills, so why not perfect them? Why not make them so strong and so precise and fine that whenever I need to use these skills, I can do it to the best of my ability and not have to think about it. It's just second nature at that point. It's just boom. It's like walking, you know, you can't forget how to walk. It's essentially the same thing, just doing something so much that you don't forget how to do it. You can do it in your sleep. And that's I think that's kind of what Bruce Lee was saying, is that you want to practice something so much that it is so scary to think how perfect you can make that one skill or master it. Because what's the point of knowing, like you said, 10,000 kicks and you only do it once, but they're super shitty? Nah, I don't. That's not me. But that's how a lot of people see it. They're like, okay, I'm just gonna learn this thing for like 5 minutes or an hour, and then I'm gonna go on to the next thing. But then they never go back to the first thing that they started with. So I do think consistency is key to everything, not just fitness or kicks, education. Really, you know, your subject, that whatever your subject you're learning about, it's the consistency of learning it or studying it, or just it's essentially embracing what you're learning and really let that soak in, you know, to the point where you're now asking questions about it. You're like, okay, so I've been doing this for so long, why isn't their theory coming out to be like they said? Why is it different for me? Now you start thinking. You're thinking, your gears are going, you're like, oh shit, hell yeah, I'm onto something. And then maybe your theory's wrong. Maybe their theory's wrong. Who knows? Who's right? You know? I don't know if anyone... The only thing that could be, or that is right, is anything that is concrete. Anything that you can set down and be like, yes, this is exactly what this is. But like belief systems and all that, like, who's right? We're not going to go into that because it can go sideways for most people. But consistency. So whatever craft you know, whatever you are very, very good at, don't stop doing it. Keep doing it, please. You already know a skill, perfect it. And I know people say there's no such thing as perfection. Yeah, you're right. But that doesn't mean you can't reach for it. So do it. And that's my little spiel on Bruce Lee's quote, "I fear not the man that practices 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man that practices one kick 10,000 times."